Hello, this is Gregg Ostrowski. I'm an executive CTO at Cisco AppDynamics. In this HelpNet security video, I'm going to be talking about 6 key challenges that technologists are facing today that are keeping them from reaching their full potential in the face of rapid digital transformation. So with digital transformation, what that really means is most every corporation or organization that interacts with customers or consumers via web and mobile applications, and also as they transition to a hybrid workspace, means that they're interacting with more tools, more cloud services, more on-prem services, more SaaS tools, and more web interfaces. So this creates more of a challenge for IT professionals to be able to provide that top-notch experience that the consumers are looking for. Back in 2020, a study by McKinsey found that COVID-19 had sped up digital transformation by several years. And if you think about that, that's really one of those lifelines that we had to be able to have some level of normalcy during that period of time of the pandemic. Now, looking at it from the consumer perspective, so consumers have the ability of being very picky with the applications they have. They want something that performs. They want something that's working whenever they want it. And they want to always see improvements and innovation happening with their digital experience. So if you cannot deliver that, you have the risk of having loyal customers walk away and move to a competitor. Now, against a backdrop of constant change and unrelenting pressure to be able to deliver innovations, IT pros are facing major challenges. The spotlight is shining right on us to be able to drive digital transformation. PwC also had a report that showed that 60% of CIOs say their companies are investing significantly in digital transformation in 2022. This accelerated demand and quick turnaround for innovation became a top priority for technologists, putting them under the pressure to meeting these lofty goals. So, however, in addition to facing overall pressure, there are key challenges that are holding back technologists. At Cisco AppDynamics, we had a study called the Agents of Transformation that talked about IT professionals and how they started to explore going through the landscape of technology changes and business changes that they've been experiencing over the last several years. Under the study, we found the key challenges that technologists are facing today, including not having enough time to be proactive or experiencing rigid structures within their company. So from a key challenge perspective, I'm going to go through 6 of them. So number 1, what we're starting to see from our technologists is that there are a lacking amount of time to be proactive. What that means is they're spending way too much time firefighting. So if you think about that, that's one of the biggest barriers to be able to drive innovation. If you're constantly fighting fires, you don't have time to be able to innovate. And that's one of the components why technologists are being frustrated and are starting to feel that they're being held back. They're too busy focusing on putting out fires. Now, number 2 is right in alignment with that. So when you think about spending too much time putting fires out, what that does is it lowers your motivation. So number 2, we found that 56% of the respondents, they feel that they have a disillusionment or burnt out. They're feeling exhausted because they're constantly putting out firefighting. And remember, we're in an IT world where it's 24/7. So those phone calls come at 2 o'clock in the afternoon or 2 o'clock in the morning. It doesn't matter. It's a matter of keeping that solution continuously running. So number 3, as advancements happen, cloud technologies start to advance, digital transformation starts to happen. Number 3 was that the technologists feel that they have outdated skills and it's very difficult keeping up with latest technologies. Sure, how can you do that when you're constantly fighting fires? So the role of the technologist has evolved considerably, and 87% of our respondents believe that they need to consistently reinvent themselves to stay relevant. So number 4 brings you right back to the organization. Having too many rigid structures or processes inside your organization actually prohibits the technologist from being able to move forward and be able to advance and innovate with your technology. So 82% of the respondents found lack of technology skills and resources within their business can be a challenge. So not having the opportunities to expand out, learn more, have the right structure in place so that you can get things done quicker and actually get the support from your senior management. Now, number 5 is not being able to think long term. Again, because if you're continuously putting out fires, how can you build a strategy and a roadmap to take you into the future? 55% of the respondents found it more challenging to balance their reactive activities with more proactive strategies. It's so critical to be able to plan and build out a strategy longer term to ensure that you can cover the overall mix of things happening from a technology point of view that drive those proper business outcomes. And lastly, number 6, this could be potentially the most important one. As technology has become so critical to driving business outcomes, the key piece here is that technologists have a difficulty time linking technology performance to those business outcomes. 65% found that they have way too much data to come in, very complex. How do you start to be able to understand what the business outcome is? And this is a critical piece because as you're a technologist and you're supporting to support the business, if you, for example, have 25, 30, 40, 50 different issues happening at one time, how do you know which one is the most important to the business? That's a key part of being able to have a full stack view that's going to enable you to have that business context. Additionally, as technology and business leaders are starting to become more and more intertwined, it's so critical to understand that the investments coming in from the business leader are going to the right locations inside of the organization. So in conclusion, the pandemic has by no doubt proven to be one of those catalysts to drive organizations to move forward with digital transformations that happen to be mission critical to the overall business outcomes. Organizations are now defined by how well of a world-class experience you can give to your customers using your applications. So that being said, the implications that could not result in the ability to deliver innovation at speed are damaging to the customer, damaging to the business, damaging to the employee experience, and ultimately result in financial losses. So these points that I talked about today reinforce the critical need for technologists to overcome these barriers and rise across the challenges over the next several years so that they can continue to innovate, continue to drive business outcomes, and be the leaders of their organizations. It's really up to the companies and their IT leaders to help identify solutions like full stack observability or additional training that will help support their technologists during these pivotal moments of digital transformation. So I'd like to thank you and have a great day.